introduction. Hello, hi, and welcome to Njuru Karume's YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking onto this video. As you can see, today I'm in a different setup and I'm hosting the one and amazing Gicheha. He's going to be telling us a little bit about his story, and we're going to be talking about youth and depression. But right about now, I'm going to be leaving you to introduce yourself and tell us who you are. Yeah, before we start the interview.
Thank you, Faith. I think thank you for inviting me to this channel. You are reaching a lot of people and you're doing a great job. I mean, it's the hardest thing to talk about yourself, but now that you have requested me to, I have no option. My name is Lewis Gicheha Karanja, and my mom is Wajilo.
Wow,
Yes.
we had similar names with your mom.
Yes, and I am a 29-year-old gentleman, a Christian, a born-again Christian. I always tell people that I'm a man from the village because I was raised and brought up in the village, but I'm also a lawyer by profession, and I practice such in my farm that I founded 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's you, and that's amazing. So let me take you back, growing up, and where did you even grow up?
I grew up in a small village in Moranga County. I'm sure you cannot even find it on a Google map. But I grew up in a village called Kareti. It's in Geda Ward, Maragua constituency, Moranga County. Yes, I grew up just as a normal young man in the village, and I went to a local school called Kaharo Primary School, and then I proceeded to a local high school called Nyagatogo High School. Yes, and then it is after high school that I found myself in Nairobi.
Wow. So you know, in Kiswahili, there are those people we say, ni wale wa kukam. So wewe ni wale wa kukuja Nairobi.
Yes. I actually, think it was my second time, because my first time I came for a tour, still in school. So it was my second time now when I was joining campus.
That's
you know,
amazing.
mimi ni wale we were being told in campus that the project should be double spaced, and I would click the space button twice. That's where we've come from.
Oh, that's amazing. And so tell us, what kind of a kid were you growing up before you came to Nairobi?
Yes, I was. People used to refer me to this retro timid young boy because I was still small as I am today. But I would say I was unique. I always strived to stand out in whatever I did. I was not the brightest, but I was an average student. Yeah, both in primary school and high school.
Okay. So you came to Nairobi because of, starting going to campus, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. So talk to us about your campus life. And did you always want to be a lawyer, or is it something that you just happened?
Oh yes, Faith. I always knew I wanted to be a lawyer. In fact, I will tell you this, that I applied for my undergrad at KU, and they told me I had to change the course because I couldn't qualify for the law degree with just 1 point. And there was all this whole debate with my family, my parents, and my friends that probably I needed to change. But KU unfortunately offered me an agricultural course. And I mean, I couldn't see myself as such. I always knew from Form 2 that I really wanted to pursue law. And I remember even at that time, I became unruly. I couldn't listen to what people were telling me. I even couldn't listen to my parents because I insisted I really wanted to pursue law. And I went to so many universities. I went to Catholic University, checked what their requirements, the school fees. I went to African Nazarene University. I went to MKU. I went to all these universities that then used to offer this course. And I finally settled to do my undergraduate at African Nazarene University.
African Nazarene.
Yes.
So there's this period where you finish high school and you want to join campus. So what were you doing then? Because doing my research kidogo, I saw that you did some work somewhere in a petrol station.
Yes,
So
yeah,
about that time.
oh yes, and I am very grateful that I was given an opportunity to start working where I was still young, because and I always tell people that before you are 30, you can work in an organization. It is not bad to work in a big, great organization, but working in a small organization or a small business teaches you some 1, 2, 3 requirements of life. Teaches you passion about business, teaches you all these things. And before I joined campus, I was privileged to get a job at a petrol station as a fuel attendant. I can tell you, Faith, that I used to work 15 hours, 7 days a week.
Wow.
But that is the most harrowing point of my life, because it taught me maybe most of the things that I know today about business and being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you find that so many youths nowadays, they don't want to go low. You want to be there. You want low, you want to be there, but you don't want to follow the process. So what can you tell somebody who is at that position and they are denying themselves to get into that position again?
Oh yes, working there, and I can tell you, Faith, that I worked very hard. You know, we are always told the students that if you are a sweeper, sweep so hard that whoever will come thereafter will say that here lived a sweeper. So I did it so well until I was offered a chance to be going back there every of my holiday during my whole entire of my campus life. And I am amazed, and I've written a book which probably we'll talk about, to encourage the youth, because I'm always startled at how the youth are giving up at the smallest provocation. I will, even as we go along, tell you which other jobs I did even as a graduate, because life is not all about the great things we see. The great people we see, before they became great, there is a whole process that they had to go through so that they develop the skills and those things that would help them to sustain that greatness. Yes.
So talk to us about, before we get into that, talk to us about, your journey now with God and how it helped you to be the person you are today.
I was brought up in a Christian way. My parents are Christian was brought up in the ACKA church, where I used to attend Sunday school and all that. And as the Bible says, that train your child in the ways of the Lord, and even when they grow up, they will not depart. So as I grew up and serving the Lord, it now dawned to me to have my own personal relationship and realization of who this God that we were serving was. And during all that time, as I went to campus, I went to a private school because I really wanted to pursue that course. We didn't have that a lot. I mean, that taught me a lot about God and the provision and all that He can do. And I can tell you, even today, the same principles draws me near to God, because I realize that it is all about God. And Faith, even this Corona has taught us that it is never about us. It is always about God. Yes.
Yeah, that is amazing. I love that, because every time I want to sit with someone, I want them to talk about God, because I know, you can work so hard as a person, but without God guiding you and everything, it may be all in vain.
Yes.
So that's amazing. So talk to us now. You're in campus. How your parents telling you and everything, and the jobs now you're doing, in campus, and the hassles of campus.
Yes. I tell people I don't know a lot of fun that most people had in their campus life because of this one thing. My parents would only probably afford to pay for my school fees, which was a lot because it was a private university. So I had to hustle and cater for everything else. I mean, pay my rent, pay my bills, and all that. So I used to go back to the petrol station every on my holiday. So at that point, that place I would get the pocket money to sustain me for the entire
let me cut you
semester.
A little bit. So
yes.
you when you go home, you
Yes.
go back to the same petrol station.
Yes.
And I know there's a lesson in this, because so many people, when you're out, umetoka your job, you're not in campus, you unaharibu tu kila kitu and you go.
Yes.
So it talks more about having a good relationship, even the places you're living.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yes, so I used to go back there, and I worked for 1 month before I proceed back for my education, and I would get the pocket money for the whole semester.
That is amazing.
But I remember one time the petrol station was under renovation. And I mean, I'm used to catering for my pocket money and all that. So I remember I ended up doing mjengo at Juja.
You were Sasa.
Yes. And I always tell people that is the hardest job you can do.
Yeah.
You are mtu wa mkono wa the foodies,
I can imagine.
and they are calling you, they used to call us bogos. Bogo, I don't know whether you know what bogo is.
Is it an animal?
Yes, it's an animal. Yeah, they used to call us that. And it was the hardest job, and when you see these people, respect their hustle.
Yeah.
Because I used to, at the end of the day, say, tomorrow I'm not going back.
Yeah.
But again, in the morning, I remember I need school fees.
You need money.
I need these to sustain myself. So I would just get myself going back. So that was the hustle. So again, when I was at Nazarene Law School is at an interior place in Longai. Again, let me just say this. They say that people from Moranga talk English, they don't speak English, right? Yeah, there's a difference between speaking English and talking English. Part of the things that affect them, and most people who have grown up in such an environment, you can imagine me going back to a petrol station where everything is vernacular. By the time I was going back to campus, all the English that I had learned had evaporated. Yeah, so you find it used to affect me a lot. I mean, that petrol station, the radio station that is there is vernacular. I mean,
so you find yourself speaking vernacular from morning till evening.
But that did not prevent us from pursuing and being determined. Yes. Another hustle that I did while in campus is I tried to sell bananas.
For real?
Yes. I would get them from Kware Market. There's a market in Longai called Kware.
Yeah.
And I would buy them at a cheap price and try to sell to the students at the university to just make a profit. But that did not proceed for long.
So I'm asking you, I'm just trying to imagine you're a campus student and you've taken now the mandates to sell. How did that make you feel as a person?
I mean, it was, at that time I wouldn't see whether see if it was anything bad because I needed to survive anyway. People knew that I used to hustle in any way possible to just ensure that I maintain myself. But unfortunately, that didn't proceed for long because the hustle was too much and the profit was meager. I mean, so I left that business, started that time OLX was there. Started advertising houses, vacant houses. I mean, every month I would get people who are looking for vacant houses, and I would tell them, for me to show you at least 3, you have to pay 500. Whether you will like them or not, that's your business. But you pay me 500, go show you several places, 3 places that has vacant houses. And if you needed other places or you didn't like those, you had to top up.
You top up with another 500.
Yes, and I would get, at month I used to get maybe 4K.
Wow, that's nice for a campus student.
Yes. So, but I managed to graduate the year 2015, October 30th.
Wow.
Yes.
And so after that, now, did you get a job immediately? What happened?
After I graduated, no, we men from the village, the worst thing you can do is just go back to the village.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a disgrace to your parent that you are educated and you're going back.
You have graduated and now you want to go back.
So I was employed as a driver.
Wow.
And also a team building coach by a company by the name Eagles Management Consultant that was a sister company to the renowned Masai Africa Safaris.
Okay.
So that was fun because I was a tours and travel driver. I've gone to every hotel in this country.
What?
Yes, name them in Naivasha, Mombasa and all that. So it was a good experience for close to 8 months.
And the pay?
The pay was at that time okay, because I mean, when I visit hotels with the tourists, I'm not paying for the accommodation, the food, but at the end of the month I have my salary. So it was a good job at that time. Yes, that would have tricked anyone not to proceed with their education.
So after that, you found another job, or what happened?
No, what happens? In law, you have to do 4 years as a graduate, and if you want to be admitted as an advocate, you have to do another 18 months at the Kenya School of Law. They call it Advocate Training Program, which is a postgraduate diploma.
Wow.
So I did the tours and travel biz job from January 2016. 2015. Okay, I completed my coursework in 2014 December.
Okay.
But I had to wait for my graduation for 1 year. So at that period is when I was doing that job. So after graduating, I joined the Kenya School of Law in the year 2016.
Okay.
Yes.
To become the person you are today.
Yes.
Okay, so today I wanted us to talk about youth and depression and I wanted you to give your story and tell us, is there a point where you felt like you feel like giving up and do I stop studying and focus on looking for a job? Did there come a time like that?
I am one person who, yes, there are times you can get depressed. There are times you can feel low, but I am one person who believes you should never give up. When it came so close to depression is after Kenya School of Law. Imagine now everyone in the village, in the village being a lawyer is such a huge thing.
Yeah.
In the village, people are calling me for Harabes, Wakiri, you need to
bring the money.
Yes, Wakiri, help my kid get a job in Nairobi. But you are still a student. They don't know that. There is the first graduation I did. So people in the village thought it is over.
It's
he's
over.
become an advocate, he's become a lawyer. They didn't know I have to go back
to school
and do my postgraduate diploma. So I did my postgraduate diploma 2016. 2017 proceeded for my pupillage. Pupillage is like internship after Kenya School of Law. So, but I failed. At the Kenya School of Law, you have to pass 9 units. I failed one.
Wow.
So you had to wait for a whole year to resit. So after I completed my internship, which we call pupillage, I had to wait and have my receipt. And now the option was I go back to the village or I find something to do. Remember, I'm a graduate. Remember, I have even joined the KSL. I'm just few steps to becoming an advocate, but I need to survive in this Nairobi. So I ended up as working in a car wash.
What?
Yes, located at Juja Mall. Yes, I again did the washing, the work too well that I did that for only 2 weeks and I was made the supervisor.
That's amazing.
Yes, for that car wash. But at that time, I didn't want anyone to know what I'm doing.
You always
Yeah?
used to hide.
I would see someone who I know come to the art car wash and I would hide.
Yeah.
Remember, I want to make money, so getting that car is good, but that person, I know them, so I
They
don't
will go
want.
say tulimpata kwa car wash.
Yes, so that is the closest I came to depression. But I'm one person who will do anything to just ensure that life continues. I just put on my table.
I have
Food
to
on
say
my
that's
table.
amazing, and that's a good spirit, because I guess so many youths right now, they are getting to that point of giving up very fast.
Very fast.
Very fast. And I guess we can all see from, from the television, the news that are being aired, we see people killing one another, relationships and everything. And please tell us, did you ever happen to come to a point where a relationship, made you feel like...
Not at that time. Maybe now afterwards, because during my campus life, I didn't have time for
you
so
had to
much.
hustle.
But ironically, people thought that I'm doing very well, because those who are doing well, those who came from well-off families, were living in a campus.
Yeah.
But ironically, ladies who are living in the campus thought us who had rented outside,
You're living the life.
we are the boys. So you would find ladies who would want to visit you. You have the freedom. They think they don't have the freedom because they live inside. But I didn't have that much time to club, to do the things that are done, because I needed to survive. So in terms of breakups, no. I just used to have friends who think I'm doing well, needs to visit someone who lives outside, but not very committed relationships.
Because what I'm thinking is, what's your take on these kind of relationships that are ending, that people are reaching to a point where they have to kill one another? Because in the past, I guess 3 weeks or even past a month, we've seen that people are dying almost, people are killing one another almost every day. And it's hard to find like 50 age people killing one another, but it's happening for this young generation. Where do you think you're going wrong with relationships, how we're handling one another?
Yes, I would say, and I started by saying that I am very worried that the youths are giving up at the smallest provocation. Most of us are, and now we are in the era of social media.
Yes.
We want to live the kind of lives we see
People
with other people, celebrities.
Yeah.
But we don't want to lead their story to that place. So the moment you want to maintain a relationship like that of another celebrity and it doesn't work, then you will lose it. I would encourage our youths that the very prime purpose and the very first thing should be to develop ourselves.
Yes.
Just be you. Just know you develop your career, your education, yourself, so that even the people you will attract will come to you because of who you are.
Yes.
Not because you are pursuing them too much or anything, but because they already know and identify with who you are, with your brand, and they would want to be part of it.
Yeah.
So that if it doesn't work, it is because they are not aligned to your brand, and maybe you are not aligned to their own brand. And I always tell people, just because it's a good cause does not mean it's my cause.
Yeah.
Just because dating what people would want us to is a good thing does not mean because it is. If you tell me we need to visit a children's home, that is a good cause. But just because it's a good cause, it does not mean it's my cause.
Yeah, sure.
As most youths want to do what others are doing. Might be good things, but it is not necessarily that they are good for you. Yes, I would say if you develop yourself, you will not have time to get depressed.
Yeah.
I get people who come to my life and leave, and I still value them. Their purpose was fulfilled at that time. Just because they left, I should not get depressed, but their purpose in my life was to be fulfilled for that only period.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking, so many things right now, we are, so many people, you know, where you come from, if you don't deal with what is in the inside, sometimes you might carry it to the life you're living right now.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, do you think so many of us, you know, we grew up with a lot of, you know, family problems and everything, that our hearts were so broken that the way we carry, it's not the way we carry things and the issues is not the way our parents used to carry them. Because you find it's a 19-year-old, they're in a relationship, they're not already living with that person, you know, they have expectations, and then you find that where they are coming from, they had some issues. Do you think these issues are kind of the family issues we carry, the way we grew up, our backgrounds, are even affected the people we are today as youths?
I would say yes or no. You started by saying that you find a teenager have already moved and they are living together with a chick. That, of course, without doubt, will bring problems, because you have placed on yourself responsibilities that you cannot carry. You have placed on yourself responsibilities that probably should be carried by a 29-year working class gentleman.
Yeah.
So of course it can never work. So I would say yes or no. Why I'm saying we lose it along the way. Remember, Faith, when we were kids, if you wanted attention, you would cry until something happens. Why is it that nowadays we don't do the same thing? Cry, not crying per se, but just striving to ensure that you catch their attention.
Yeah, sure.
Nowadays, if you cry a bit, not literally crying, you just give up.
Yeah.
But a small kid will cry until the mother feeds them with what, or gives them whatever they want. Why is it that we give up so easily, but we don't want to pursue and be consistent until we achieve?
Yeah.
I give an example of why people give up very easily. And I am an entrepreneur. I run my own law firm, and I would say it's doing well. God has been good to us.
That's amazing.
Why people give up so many things at a time? If today you went to a forest with an axe, you hit a tree, one. Tomorrow you go and hit the same tree, the same spot, two. The next day, the next week, the next month, you go hit the same spot. That tree eventually will fall. Eventually the tree will fall. But what most young people are doing, today you go to the forest with an axe, you hit one tree.
Yes.
Tomorrow you go to the same forest, you hit another tree. The other day you go to, yes, no tree will fall.
Yeah.
If you start something and it's not doing well, stick there. If you believe that's your vision, stick there. If you keep hammering, eventually that tree will fall.
Wow.
Yes.
That's an amazing example. So afterwards, I have seen you doing, you know, motivational speaking, and I can say you're doing quite well. You know, inspiring this other generation. It's so good. So talk to us about that and where it started and how did you get to it?
Why I tell the young people that take every opportunity that comes your way. Yeah? Why I am a speaker today, why I am a team building coach today, why I am an entrepreneur today is because I worked for Masai Africa Safaris. It is at Masai Africa Safaris that I learned leadership skills, because it was all about trainings, leadership training, team building, corporate team building trainings. At that time, people would have thought, why is Wakiri working as a driver?
Yeah.
I mean, why is he doing that? And there are so many other things he can do. But I always take the opportunity that is available and that is brought without a lot of hassle, because that is a sign that it is brought by God.
Yes.
It is at that time that I learned the skills of leadership trainings, team building, and all that. And even now, after I went back to my area, I still do those things as part of my hobby, as part of what I would want to give to the community and all that. Yes.
So where did it start? It started at Masai Safaris.
Yes.
And now you're a motivational speaker, going around schools. How has that been, the experience of going to schools, speaking to those young people?
It is fulfilling. I always say that the prime purpose of every human being is to serve God and humanity. Me making money through my farm, that is good because, I mean, it helps you do well in life.
That's good.
But what is that thing that when you do it, you get fulfillment? What is that thing that when you do it, you feel satisfied? That is giving back to the community. Why I go doing these trainings, why I visit schools, is because that is what makes me feel fulfilled, that I am touching the life of other young men and women out there, is what I'll probably be remembered for, not the kind of money I've made in other field. Yes.
That's amazing. So talk to us about your new book. This is your first book?
Yes, this is my first book.
Talk to us about your book and everything. Yeah.
This book, it's titled Grad Kion. Yeah? I read about an article way back in when I was in first year, about the Grand Canyon. It's located in the southern western of the United States, where water, some river made this great and scenery by breaking the rocks, and the scenery that was developed out of that is one of the greatest canyons that is known even today. And that article inspired me that even in life, we go through a lot of things. But those twists and turns that the waters were making to form those great scenery is what now millions of tourists enjoy till today. The fact that in your life you might have those twists and turns and challenges is what will make that journey way after be so beautiful that so many young people will be inspired by it, or so many people will look up to that scenery of the Grand Canyon. So that's why the title. But the book is about inspirational chapters and articles about how I started my law firm, why I was convinced that I can do it even at a young age, and how I started the talks, the leadership trainings and all that, and encouraging the youth that you should never give up. Whether you are starting in a humble beginning, that is just a stepping stone. Never give up the pursuit. One day, the tree will fall.
Wow, this is amazing. You have such an inspirational story. I know even this video is not enough to talk about your story because I'm cutting it short because of the time and everything. But I'm believing, where are your parents right now, and what do they say about you?
I believe they are very proud.
They must be.
Believe they are very proud, and I visit them every now and then. I mean, every week I have to visit
in
home.
Muranga.
Yes, in Muranga. In fact, I have constructed a home at the rural, and people have been asking me, why do you do that while every other young man are rushing to build in Nairobi?
Okay.
But I realized, parents are your second God.
Yeah, true.
And the things that make them happy are not probably the things we think about. And I see them very happy when they see that I'm doing well. Not that they would even want anything or money, but that I'm doing well, and that they would want them to feel part of me. Them doing that is for me to be close to them, them hearing how I'm doing and how is the farm doing, how is my business is doing every now and then. And for me to be able to achieve that, I decided that I wanted to be close to them. You know, we rush to buy plots in a lobby, to build these elegant houses, but most of us have not done that where they are not even required to buy the land, where the land is free. So that you find most men just visit their parents. But that's your home. That's where you should be living. So for me, I believe they are proud. And every time I go there, spend time with them there like I used to those times, eat the githeri there and interact with them, they feel, and I see that they feel very proud of that. Yes, I would be proud of.
Yeah, that's amazing, because in the whole of your story, I know God has been evident, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is good. So maybe as we finished and to wrap up the show, please tell somebody, one thing or two to encourage them.
I would like to encourage the young people that it is doable, it is possible, but it requires consistency.
Yeah.
It requires humility. Grab the opportunities that God brings along your way. Whether you are a high school leaver and you get a job to be a shop attendant, grab it, because it is in that you will learn the skills that you will require in that life that you envision. And then I would also tell you that the fact that you are there, the fact that you are born is a clear indication that this world needs something that your life contains. Yeah. Just that fact. Remove the education, remove the expertise. The fact that you are in this world is a clear indication that this world needs something that your life, and your life alone, contains. So pursue it, and you will be able to achieve that which God has purposed for your life. Yes.
Okay. So I know people would love to purchase your book.
Yes.
And also follow you on social media.
Yes.
So tell us where they can find the book and also you on social media.
Yes, I said I am an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, and I run a firm by the name Lewis and Company Advocates. We are located at Kogeria Mashonates. For those of us who know where Nairobi Hospital is, we are just near there. If you come to Kogeria Mashonates, suite number 5, you'll find my office there. On my social handles, you can find me there. All my social handles, I'm Gicheha Lewis. Okay. And you can be able to reach to me for the book or any legal service. Yes, the fact that I did work for a car wash also inspired me to have my own car wash.
Wow, that's amazing.
So I do run a car wash. I am also trying to be in the real estate here and there, but that's the story for another day.
Okay, yes. So we'll have him again and again, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for accepting our invite and even coming to our show today. God bless you for even accepting to come. So everybody who needs to get Gicheha's book, you can follow him on all social media as Gicheha Lewis, right?
Yes.
And I know you can inbox him and get the book. But I hope this story has inspired you, to do much better, not to give up. Do remember to follow us on our Facebook. Follow me on Facebook as Wanjiru Karume. And also on Instagram is Wanjiru Karume. Subscribe, like, share, and you can share so that people can get this video and get inspired. So that's it for me and Gicheha. It's a bye-bye.
Thank you.